Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Simon here with another episode of Attack on Titan, Season 4, the final season. This is episode number 2. I'm hoping to catch up fairly quickly because I know the third episode has been released in the dub. This week's been a bit of a hectic week for scheduling on this channel just because I'm going through new stuff with my job. Training and whatnot means I've got limited time to record, so I'm trying to catch up as best I can. But the first episode took us into some very unusual places in terms of the setting. There's been a bit of a time jump, which I wasn't aware of, 4 years in the future. And we're focusing on events outside of the island and outside of, our usual group of people. We're introduced to some Eldians, a group of warrior candidates. So for those who are wanting to take up the mantle of one of the Titans, the 9 Titans, I believe the Marlyan forces have, the Marlyan forces. And we were introduced to several, I should say, of these candidates, all of differing kind of skill. I think Gabby was the one who went off and basically on her own destroyed the train that was carrying the anti-Titan cannons. So basically this war between Marley and the allies, I think they were like the Eastern Allies they were called, the Titans couldn't get close whilst these anti-Titan cannons were set up. We saw this one warrior recruit go in, blow the train up. Then we got like an amazing airdrop of Titans along with Zeke. And a few. Well, there was one big Titan that I didn't recognize, which was Galliard. Galliard was this very strange skull-like faced Titan that I hadn't seen before. We saw the Scout Titan. We saw the Armored Titan. We saw the Beast Titan. But we saw this Galliard who I hadn't seen before, at least couldn't recall seeing before. So yeah, it's been an interesting first episode. Definitely not what I expected. Been unusual, but I'm liking it. So we're going to jump in. Before we do, I want to say a big thank you to my Patreon super supporters: Frank Tremel, Karen Abel, Nick Walters, The 7 Deadly Sins, Damon Smallwood, Michael Y, Clara Gros-Louis, Mr. Greg89, Tyrone Tyrone, Pobinhas, Matt Okeefe, Sophie Leske, Olly Brown, Jason Jepson, and our newest super supporter, Nightwolf37. So, let's jump in.
What do you make of this, McGaff?
Frankly, General, we knew this day would come, and
He was the commander at the Battle of Fort Slava.
Our time's run out. We've been content to rely on the power of the Titans as we expand.
I was going to say, I'm willing to bet they're behind technologically.
Titans to rely on developed weapons to oppose.
Yeah. So they're threatened now.
To whatever the hell we are now.
Begging your pardon, General. If you'd forgive my boldness, I have some thoughts on this.
Zeke, the boy wonder. Go right ahead.
The boy wonder. He doesn't look like a boy.
Commander!
You tell me everything, down to the number of hairs on your ass.
Oh, God.
Do you think Eldians deserve privacy?
Certainly not, sir.
So crazy that
All that I can say
these people who control the Titans are treated like trash,
In the past 3 years,
sinking our ships while blocking their escape.
assessment, our ships won't be able to land on the island without heavy.
It's been 4 years. I want to know what's on the island now.
Well to remember, it isn't just their Titans that pose a threat.
Yeah, they've got some really skilled fighters.
Wait!
But if they can develop their military to the point where they get bombers, they can go and wipe out the entirety of the island.
But I learned what I needed to from my predecessor Ymir. And ironically,
What?
for such a pitiful
What?
woman.
Oh, shit. Wait, she was...
Here to give my brother's jaws back, right?
Every time this happens, it makes us Eldians look more like monsters.
Oh man, what's going on with the animation here?
Let us wipe out the subjects of Ymir.
We've suddenly lost frames.
Shit.
I know it's a new studio, but I'm not sure I like the new style.
You're good to walk again? Your breath's awful.
Come on, you big dummy. Tell him why you did it. Comrades.
Jeez.
No why this idiot risked her life to destroy that train.
I hate how there's so much symbology towards sort
For
of
all of you, to save your son
Nazi Germany and the Jews. I mean, because these people are very much treated like the Jews were.
I'll go shut him up.
And now they're being carted around in trains like cattle.
It'll be you and your family dropped out of an airship as Titans next.
Wait, please don't do
Oh
this.
shit, that's what they do to
Allow me
people?
correct myself. I, warrior candidate Falco Grice, wish to atone for my ancestors' crimes and for my wicked blood. Towards that end, I pledge my life to Marley.
Hate the way Eldians are so submissive.
Inheriting one of the 9 makes you an honorary Marlyan.
Yeah, there is so much symbology here. The armbands, the trains, the way they're treated.
Hey, so, can I trust him?
And again, they're held in ghettos. I mean, we knew that from the flashback in the last season, but even the soldiers don't get a break from,
What are you trying to boost your grades?
you know, being locked away.
No, that's not what this is about.
Ah, Zeke.
Grandpa, Grandma.
Oh shit.
We're so very proud of all your achievements.
I'm not done. Not yet.
Coach Falco.
So that's Erin's grandparents.
Surrounded by bombs and bullets. In their heads, these guys are still in the trenches.
PTSD. I really hate the Marlyans.
Not in danger.
Grenades landed exactly where I'd aimed them and blew the train right off its tracks. I'd actually pulled it off.
Again, with like the loss of frames, it doesn't seem to be consistent.
At me, and just as I was about to eat lead, Mr. Gallagher
It reminds me of
hit me with his jaw titan.
the Dragon Prince.
Sounds like a whole bunch of our soldiers owe their lives to your bravery.
But she stole it because it looked good.
He's getting the wrong picture of.
By offering him half the potato. However,
No.
the half she offered him was visibly smaller than her half. A soft-hearted oaf who only ever thought of others. A brave but
It's like they can't win.
and a bunch of chumps who followed his lead. Alongside all those different people.
Yeah.
My comrades.
I don't think there's anything they could do to win him over.
And crush us all beneath their feet.
So they think they've got Titans.
We're good Eldians, and we have to stop them.
So brainwashed.
To punch the
It's horrendous.
who abandoned us, who fled and built themselves a paradise on top of a mountain of corpses.
They have no idea, do they? The real story. Oh. Did someone just jump out a window?
But I feel like Aunt Karina's worked it out. I heard it was a soldier. That's awful.
Was it one of the traumatized soldiers killed themselves?
Looks like all of us are here now. Lose our tactical value as Marley loses her strength.
Mm-hmm.
This threatens the whole Eldian race. And there is but one solution.
Get
Marley must seize
the founding Titan.
power as well as the resources of Paradis.
They're the key
Tiber.
hammer. Is that right?
Yeah, but the Tybers have never once used the Warhammer Titan against an enemy state.
Oh shit.
They're known as the family that drove off King Fritz in the Great Titan War. They
The fates of the Eldian people and of Marley rest on this plan. We cannot let it fail. For the future of our motherland, Marley, we must
Oh, they are listening in. They're listening for dissenters.
Elliot has a complaint or two, but he always follows orders in the end.
If this is all they're saying in private, I'm not concerned.
I just wish Zeke hadn't thrown that comment in.
About the threat of the race.
In this room, huh?
Yeah. Okay, so I do have several points that I want to raise here. Giving us the perspective of the Eldians and the Marlyans outside of, parody is definitely interesting because, we've spent the first 3 seasons on the island being, so curious about the outside world and getting to know the people within the walls that, we know the truth. We know who they really are. And it's so frustrating to see the Eldians in the outside world, Liberia, being so brainwashed and so submissive and so accepting of their status as a second-class people and so self-hating of their history. They've been given this propaganda, this kind of false history, and that's driving all of that. That's driving their every motive. And there's so much symbology going back to the Jews in Nazi Germany, from the armbands to the ghettos to being shipped around in, carts on trains. Obviously, there is a different use for the Eldians compared to what the Nazis did to the Jews and the other degenerates that they considered throwing, into concentration camps. But, I think the comparison is there. And it is very frustrating from a perspective of, you just want the Eldians to rise up and fight back and stop being so happy to be treated the way they are. It's a very clever way, I guess, of structuring the story to get us to understand fully what's going on. These young candidates who are essentially throwing their lives away by accepting the Titan powers, are forced to believe that it's an honor, and they think of the people on the island and within the walls as, horrendous, evil devils that, have tarnished their name and their bloodline. And, they think of them as oppressors almost. It's very strange because we know the truth about why, they had to go to the island and why the walls were built in the first place. The walls were set up, the Titans were the cause of everything. Fighting for the power of those Titans caused everything. And it was only because they were able to take the founding Titan, that they're even where they are. The stuff in there with Ymir, who, if I'm right in thinking, was the Titan. I don't know if the Galliard is the name of the Titan or the person, but whatever Titan that was, apparently Ymir had that power. And again, with there being a time skip, I'm not certain as to when exactly that little flashback took place, because we saw Ymir in chains. And so that bit confused me. And again, this, I guess, is one of the problems of a time skip and focusing the story elsewhere, is you start to lose focus on what was. And so I'm a little bit confused about the Ymir stuff, that they mentioned. The fact that she had, the power of a Titan and she gave it back. And so I'm questioning, does that mean she's dead? What I mean, because we know that, we know what happened between her and Historia, I don't think we ever found out what happened to her afterwards. I might be getting myself confused there because, again, there's so much new information to take in, but I'm not sure. One point I want to make on the animation, and I know it's a different studio doing the animation this time around. I can't say I'm a huge fan. I hadn't noticed it really in the first episode, but this episode you could definitely tell the intentional sort of juttering, the sort of reduced frames of the animation. And again, it's something that I saw in the Dragon Prince series on Netflix. I don't know if it's the same studio, but I found it a little bit sort of, I don't know, I'm not a fan. And especially in a series that has focused so much on fast, fluid action. The whole thing of the Scout Squadron is that they move at breakneck speed, swinging through trees. Animation style that reduces frames isn't suited to that. So I don't know if it's just at times we have that jarring effect, and in battle you get the full fluid animation. I'm not sure, but it was noticeable, and so not a huge fan. It's not terrible. It's not something that is bothering me, but you can notice it. And so I don't know the reasons for the studios changing over or the change in style. I'm going to assume it was some kind of a contractual issue, some kind of a falling out maybe. But if it was intentional, then I can't say it's been a good move in my opinion. Anyway, we're going to move on to episode 3 soon. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you for the next one.